Hi friends, happy December. I cannot believe that Christmas is just over a week away. It makes me so sad to think that the holiday season is coming to an end, but as usual, we are going to be squeezing the last bit of Christmas magic out of the season. I like to do that with every season, just try and get as much of the magic of the season as I can. So today, I was hoping that we could get the chance to do a little bit of cozy crafting. I have a couple of craft ideas in mind, and I'm hoping to be able to get to those today. We will see, time permitting. We will see how much I can get done. So the first one has to do with this beautiful vintage cookbook that I found at the thrift store. I am absolutely in love with this like folk art cover. She's in pretty rough shape. The binding is falling apart. I'm surprised that the cover is even still on. I am still a little bit on the fence about this, but I'm thinking about using some of the pages of this book to make a really cute paper chain. If you guys watched my Christmas dopamine menu video, I talked about making a paper chain, and I think this is going to be the way to do it. There are some really cute pages in this book, and I think it would make the cutest paper chain, possibly for like the kitchen or the dining room, or I'm not really sure quite yet where I will put it, but I am a little bit on the fence because I do feel a little guilty taking the book apart because it is vintage. It's from 1950. But I think I'm going to kind of get the best of both worlds, because what I'm going to do is use some of the pages, and then I'm also going to keep the book and I'm going to use it on display in the kitchen during Christmas because I think it's so cute. And then I also want to work on some of the embossed metal ornaments that I had talked about in my Christmas dopamine menu video as well. There is so many beautiful ideas that I pulled from Pinterest and Instagram for like either a embossed metal garland or an embossed metal like ornament collection. So I've already gotten started on those. I want to show you guys kind of like some of the tips and tricks that I have found so far, and it's surprisingly very easy and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I want to show you guys that. And then last but not least, I have an idea for a Christmas centerpiece that has to do with lots of thin taper candles and some preserved moss and these beautiful wooden bowls that I found. So I'm really excited to share just like a nice cozy crafting day with you guys. So let's get started with the embossed metal ornaments. Okay, so I want to kind of show you guys what I have so far. So I've been working on these just like here and there when I have time, but I've done up a couple of different ornaments or garland pieces here. I have that little gingerbread house. I have this cute little moon. And you guys, I'm still torn. Like, I don't know if I want to do the silver side or the gold side because I love them both so much. I've done a couple of stars. I did a really cute sun, and I am crafty, but a lot of times I feel like I'm not the best artist, and so I am doing, I wouldn't say it's cheating, but I am getting some help. I found some cute folk art, clip art on Canva, and then I just printed it out, and what I'm doing is essentially tracing over the folk art printout onto the metal. And it's really helping my designs to come out so that I love them, because a lot of times when I'll work on DIYs, I won't end up liking them. Maybe you can relate. So I just want to make sure that this is something that I really love. So I'm using the clip art to help me. So some of the supplies that you will need for this is some embossing sheet metal. I ordered this on Amazon. You'll need some embossing styluses. These are great. They come in all different sizes here, so I can get like different thicknesses of the embossing. Also got these on Amazon. You'll want a pair of scissors. And then you'll need something soft to do your embossing on. I am using some felt pieces that are leftovers from a fall craft that I did this autumn. And then another thing that you can do if you don't want to purchase the embossing metal sheets is you can take the inside of tomato paste tubes. I haven't tried this yet. I do have an empty tomato paste tube here. I think I am going to give it a try on a couple of the pieces just to see how it goes. But again, this might not be the best idea because I'm still not sure whether I want to do the silver or the gold. But supposedly the inside of these tomato paste tubes is gold. So we're going to give that a try. And then I also picked up some wire in case I decide to do this as a garland, which I'm pretty sure that is what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do this as a garland, maybe on like the kitchen shelves, I'm thinking. And I'm also thinking about maybe distressing it a little bit and adding like some patina to make it look aged. I think that'll look really pretty. And I could do that on both sides of the embossings. And that way I could do either silver or gold. So, and then another thing that does help if you are going to be tracing is to use a little bit of tape. So let me show you guys how I've been doing this. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to kind of cut around my little clip art piece that I have just to make it easier to see how big of a piece of the sheet metal that I need to have. And then I have a strip of the sheet metal here, so I'm going to make sure that this is going to fit on it. And then I'm going to take this and cut as big of a piece that I need. And then I'm going to take a piece of tape and I'm going to tape the bird onto the metal just to hold it in place. And then what I have noticed is the nice small styluses seem to work really well. So I'm going to start with one of these small ones, and then you can also use a pen, just like a ballpoint pen, to do this. And actually using a ballpoint pen is a great way to do it because then you can see where you've already like drawn your lines. But I'm going to use the stylus for this one, and you're just going to trace around all of the little elements that you want to show on your embossing. Okay, so I just pulled the template off and it looks like this. And so now what I like to do to kind of get this dappled look like this is I just take one of the larger styluses. This is the biggest one I have. Don't know if I want to use this one though. I think I will probably use the next size down. And then I'm just gonna go through and just kind of dapple. And then what I also like to do is to go back over any of the tracing and just to give it a little bit more definition because it doesn't get super defined through the paper. But if you go back over and just kind of trace over what you've already done after you pull the paper off, you can make it a little bit more defined. I thought I wanted to do some dappling on this, but I think I'm gonna leave it how it is because I really like how it is. So now I'm gonna take my little scissors and I'm gonna cut it out, and it's really easy. And this is what it looks like when it's all done. I'm gonna work on a few more and then I'm gonna start stringing them together onto the wire to start putting the garland together. Let's give the tomato paste a try. So I'm gonna wash this out and then we'll see what the inside looks like. Okay, so we got it hung up and I absolutely love it. This is becoming one of my favorite little corners of the house, just adding like little details at a time. I think next time I'll probably use just like a smaller gauged wire because it would just be easier to maneuver. The little ornaments are very fragile, especially the ones that were not made out of the recycled tomato paste. They're even thinner and they're fragile, so you have to be really careful with them. So with that thicker wire and using the pliers, I just had to be really careful. So I'm thinking next time if I do this again, I'll probably use a thinner wire just to make it more malleable and easier to work with. I ended up just taping it to the shelf. You could definitely use like a thumbtack or use nails and wrap the wire around those to make it really secure, but I figured that tape is probably just fine. And I also didn't want to put any nail holes in my shelf. So I love it. I think maybe at some point I could possibly like do a little bit of brown paint on it to add like a little bit of varnish or to like add a little bit of tarnish and make it look a little bit more aged. But for right now, this is so, so cute. I love it. So I just sat down to work on this and I thought an X-Acto knife would work a lot better than trying to cut out the pages with scissors, and I was right. But I debated and debated on whether or not I should do this paper chain out of a vintage book. I felt really bad like taking the book apart. But I told myself that I'm giving the book a second life because I'm not only going to make the paper chain, I'm also going to display it because I love the cover so much and it's like just so cute, and it's going to be something that I can pull out every year at Christmas and display it. But I'm probably not going to use the recipes, you know? So like I'm giving it another life. And the very first page, I got my finger really, really good with the X-Acto knife. Like the end of it, I accidentally poked my thumb. So the book had it say, I'm going to continue, but little book, I promise I'm going to give you a second life. So it'll be okay. So I'm going to do this in a way, I hope, where I'm not going to glue these together. I'm going to do slits in the paper, and that way I can take it apart and store it really easy. I'm just worried if I glue it or staple it, storing it is going to be really tough, and I think this will be a huge space saver. I just don't know how well it's going to stay together. It might come apart really easy. I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to test it out. But for this project, I picked up one of these little paper cutters. I think this is going to make the whole process so much easier. Okay, I have made the executive decision that this is just going to have its own special box in my Christmas storage so that it doesn't get crushed, and I'm going to tape it because these little fins, it just doesn't look right. So we're going to tape and hope that it turns out okay. Okay, I have one last Christmas DIY of the season. Wow, that is kind of crazy to say. It's been so much fun decorating this year and I've been so inspired. But I had one last thing that I really wanted to check off my Christmas bucket list, and that was this really beautiful centerpiece. I had seen a couple of pictures on Pinterest of some centerpieces that I thought were really beautiful. So I started searching around on Amazon and various places online to try and recreate it. So what I have here are this wooden bowl set. These are from Amazon. Of course, I'll link everything below. And then I have some styrofoam, some floral styrofoam. And then I found these really pretty like thinner taper candles because we're going to use a lot of candles in this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of cut this foam down to size so I can put it inside of this bowl. And then I'm going to place the candles inside the foam so that it holds them upright. And then I will go ahead and add the moss on top. And I might or might not, I was kind of looking at this last night, since this came as a set of 2, I thought that elevating the larger bowl on top of the smaller bowl might look kind of cute. And maybe I could just use some, I don't know, some kind of adhesive that will come off so that this is stable for now, but it's not permanent. I don't want to glue these two together, but I just thought it might look kind of cute to have it elevated. But we'll see. We're going to test it out and see what we think. I'm thinking I don't want to make a big mess in the house with this foam. I think I'm going to take this outside to like fit it to the bowl, and then I'll come back and show you guys. But I think I'm just going to take a knife, like a steak knife and like a serrated knife, and just kind of cut it down to size. Okay, that worked perfectly. Just using a steak knife and doing it outside made less of a mess in the house. Okay, so now I'm going to add the candles to this and then start putting some of the moss on. I think I'm probably going to end up hot gluing the moss. I think that'll be the best way to do it. I think I'm going to use some of the hot glue to try and secure some of these that are leaning a little bit. I think that'll work great. And then I'll hot glue the preserved moss.
Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light.
Okay, so we got it all done. I am still not sure. Let's kind of like see how this looks here. Definitely would need to be stabilized with something. Take a step back. I don't know. I like it either way. I like it with and without. What do you guys think? Oh man, I do think it needs to be up on the other bowl. Yeah, let's go ahead and put it up on the other bowl. I'm gonna go grab some of this really awesome double-sided Gorilla Glue tape stuff I have that works great, and we'll use that on it.
While Santa's busy saying ho, 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 we're feeling jolly, eating Christmas cake. And then we go skating on the frozen lake, saying hi to every friendly face. And later we warm up by the fireplace.
Okay, I already blew out the candles because this is going to be probably more of a short-lived type of centerpiece because the candles are so thin. They're going to burn down pretty fast. But again, please use your own discretion with this and make sure that you're watching it really well because obviously it might be a fire hazard, but it looks pretty now that I like burned a little bit of it down and we've got some drippy candle action happening. Like this could be a vibe in and of itself without even having to light the candles. But I think it's super cute and I love the fact that I can reuse these bowls later on for a different project. So let me know what you guys thought. And I think that is going to officially wrap up all of our Christmas DIYs for 2025. Wow. It's just so much fun to share these with you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Loxley is feeling the love too. She's coming over to say hi and thank you. She says, thanks for watching my mommy. You're so cute, Locks. Well, I think now would be a good time for me to make my afternoon coffee and cuddle up on the couch and maybe watch some Christmas movies with Loxley. I think that would be just a delight. So I think that's what we're going to do. Thank you guys so much for watching as usual. I love you guys. I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.